What's going on, everyone? My name is Cynic, and welcome to a brand new Epic vs. Epic episode here inside of Infinite Warfare Zombies. Now, I believe this is episode number 17, give or take. So if you guys have missed out on any of the previous episodes, then I strongly recommend you go ahead and click on the little eye in the top right-hand corner to take you to the entire playlist. Now, before we get straight into this video, I do want to go ahead and say that this is going to be the last comparison that I do for quite some time. The Call of Duty World War II beta is 2 days away, so I want to focus more on a couple series that I have in mind for World War II. So this is going to be the last comparison for a little bit. I may still keep the Is It Worth It series going, but I'm not entirely sure. The majority of my time will be focused on World War II for the next week or two. So I just want to let you guys know on that. If you guys have some ideas that you want to know or see in regards to World War II's maps or weapons, let me know. I'm more than happy to take any suggestions you guys have with that stuff. But with that out of the way, let's get into the epic comparisons of today. Now, this comparison comes from like more than 50 people. I couldn't throw everyone's fucking name on here, so I just threw up these two, but there's been like 50 people that requested this. So shout out to all of you guys who were involved in requesting this one, which again were a lot of people. So we're gonna go ahead and kick this off with the UDM Stalker, probably the best weapon inside of Infinite Warfare that is locked behind supply drops. Now, the selling trait of the Stalker basically transforms the fully automatic UDM into a semi-automatic sniper pistol, giving it a massive accuracy, damage, and range buff, while obviously coming at the cost of a lower fire rate. It also claims to have lower mobility, but I did not notice that with this weapon. Now, unfortunately, due to its massive damage buff, the Stalker is not as great at accumulating points as the basic UDM is, but its trade-off is it's much more efficient in terms of killing, which in turn means you can go much longer periods of time without ever having to worry about either pack-a-punching your weapon or picking up bang-bangs. This weapon is a one-shot up until about round 13 to the body without bang-bangs. A second shot past round 13 will be required, but with the amount of ammunition that you're given with the Stalker, that's really never a problem. Plus, it's a wall weapon, so ammo really isn't that much of a problem for this pistol, which is a very pleasant surprise. Matter of fact, the amount of ammunition that you're given with the Stalker is a huge advantage that it has over the other epic that we're going to be talking about, which is the Hailstorm Ordnance, which comes with the trigger happy trait, which is very ironic to say the least. Now, I say this trait is ironic for the name that it has, because spamming the trigger may be the last thing you want to do with this weapon, but basically it transforms the normal 3-round burst Hailstorm to a semi-automatic pistol that now packs a little bit more of a punch than what it did before. Now, I say spamming the trigger may be the last thing you want to do because of the massive recoil that this weapon has, but much like the Stalker, the Ordnance trades off fire rate in exchange of having a little bit more of a punch. However, there's a pretty big difference between the two on their upbringing and how these weapons operate. The Stalker, you don't have to pretty much aim. You can, if you want, just hip fire it, and any zombie inside the crosshairs, the bullets would actually track and hit the zombie. Everyone refers to it as aimbot, which it practically is. The Ordnance unfortunately does not have this ability. However, if you're aiming down sight with the Ordnance, it does seem to be a little more beneficial than aiming with the Stalker, since the Stalker technically does have the same amount of sway that a sniper rifle normally has, since the Stalker is considered a sniper rifle pistol. Now, in comparison to the Stalker, unfortunately the Ordnance pales in more ways than one. Its ammo count is not nearly as forgiving as the Stalker is, and it doesn't have nearly as much as the same damage output, at least not in the beginning stages of a zombie's game. So the Ordnance is a one hit to the body up until about round 4. By round 4 it's going to take 2 shots to the body, but it's a one shot to the head up until about round 12, I believe it was. By round 12, if you pick up bang bangs, it's a one hit headshot up until about round 15. By round 15, it's ideal to start pack-a-punching because that ammunition you're going to start burning through a little bit more, which in turn would require more trips to the wall to buy more ammunition. The Stalker, on the other hand, you go all the way up until round 19 without having to worry about pack-a-punching and tapping into your ammo reserve. The only reason you would really have to pack-a-punch at round 19 is just to get that one hit potential back into the Stalker. Now, really and truly, I think it's just the start of a zombies game that separates these two weapons, along with the amount of ammunition that you're given. As you guys can see, the difference in ammunition is huge. Obviously, the Ordnance doesn't have the same amount of damage output that the Stalker has. On top of the fact that it doesn't have nearly as much ammunition, it's definitely at a disadvantage within the two. But as you get later on into the rounds, the fact that you can feel a little more comfortable, at least I felt a little more comfortable aiming down sight and strafing with the Ordnance than I did with the Stalker. As you progress later on into the rounds, like in the 30s and higher, as far as damage goes, they seem to be neck and neck. It's almost like once you double pack the Ordnance, it's just a notch underneath the Stalker double packed. Now, in terms of which one's better, I don't think that was ever a question. The Stalker, hands down, is leagues above the Ordnance, especially when it comes to the amount of ammunition and the damage output. But like I said earlier in the video, the Stalker is the best weapon locked behind supply drops, so you can't craft it. I think the Ordnance is definitely a nice alternative. It kind of feels like a little bit of a watered down version of the Stalker, but you take whatever you can get get, I definitely say the Ordnance is worth it, but by far the Stalker is much better. If the Stalker was actually able to be craftable, I would strongly recommend that you would aim after that over everything else. Not too sure about being over the Mammoth and Sentinel, but it's a strong second next to those two. Anyways, let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. If there's anything else you guys want to add to this comparison, by all means feel free to share that stuff down in the comment section. I love interacting with you guys. Again, this is going to be the last comparison for quite some time, as I am going to be focusing on World War II. So if you guys have some suggestions on some things you want to see in regards to World War II, then by all means please let me know. But I think that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for today's Epic vs Epic episode. If you guys want to know a little more in-depth information on the Hailstorm Ordnance or on the UDM Stalker, I will leave some links down in the description, as well as just go check those videos out inside the Is It Worth It episode series, as I go a little more in depth on how those two weapons are inside of zombies. But anyways, my name is Cynic. Thank you guys so much for watching and stopping by. Hopefully you guys did enjoy it, and until next time guys, I'll see you all with a brand new video.